Good afternoon. I'm Danny Smith, the sports editor of the Starkville Daily News, and this is Joel Coleman, our beat writer for Mississippi State, and this is this week's edition of the Digital Express. And as we tape this, Joel, it's October 31st, Halloween, and
feels like football.
yeah,
Finally.
and then tomorrow will be November.
Yeah.
So it's football time, football weather. The postseason is here for the private schools of our coverage area, and Starkville Academy will be making the trip up to Magnolia Heights, a team they've already played this year and won a 33-26 decision. And it was a really good ball game, and that was our Starkville Daily News game of the week. At that time,
Yeah.
they're going to make it our game of the week again because
Yeah.
this has the potential to be a good one.
Yeah, changing the setting this go around too. So
Yeah.
I think Starkville Academy won by 7 the first time they played. 33-26 here
One
in
possession
Starkville.
game. Yeah.
So this time it'll be on the road. I know that there's no betting lines or whatever for high school football and things, but a lot of times it's about a touchdown or between 3 and 6 points or whatever kind of shifts in betting lines if you're looking at that sort of thing, whether it's college or pro. But so if you wanted to use that as a little bit of a judge, by shifting locations, that would make a 7-point game. If you wanted to draw up a who's a favorite there, that'd be almost a push probably.
Yeah.
So you got kind of a coin flip game maybe there with Starkville Academy and Magnolia Heights. But I don't know, man. You've got a Starkville Academy team that's lost a couple in a row here heading in. So they're going to want to get that straightened out. And it's the playoffs too, though, so everybody comes ready to play. That'll be a heck of a game to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I talked with C.J. Jackson, the running back from Starkville Academy this week, and he went over the 1,000-yard mark for the season in that Jackson Academy game, and he really couldn't enjoy it because he said he wanted to win worse than he wanted the 1,000 yards. So that kind of shows you what their attitude is. They care more about winning than personal goals. And Chase Nicholson said he likes the fact that they set personal goals and can achieve those, but he's even more proud that he wants to see them win football games. So it'd be a good way for Starkville Academy to kick off their playoff run, and history shows they can do that at Starkville Academy. But you have Starkville High School. They're going to Warren Central with a chance, I believe, to wrap up the district title down there in Vicksburg. And then East Webster is hosting their last regular season game. It'll be senior night for them. Eupora's already wrapped up their regular season, and they're looking forward to the playoffs. But Choctaw County is on the road to Hatley, so they have a chance to finish this regular season strong.
Yeah, and I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's a game that doesn't mean much. Choctaw County's already celebrated a division title. They can't lose it this week, but as well as they've been playing, that probably what Jeff Roberts wants to see out of the Chargers this week is just don't let the foot off the gas pedal. Right. You've won the division title there at Ackerman, and that group, man, that bunch has impressed me. The last, I didn't give them a prayer when they left East Webster a few weeks ago at 1-3. I thought it'd be a fight for them to get to the playoffs, and lo and behold, they haven't lost since. They have been the epitome this year in our coverage area of a team that has gotten better week by week by week, and so you feel really good about them and their chances going on the road to a Hatley team that has struggled at points this year. You think Choctaw County's probably going to wrap up the division in undefeated style, at least in division games. So and build some momentum. Of course, they'll have a home playoff matchup, I guess, next week against somebody. Yeah. So I think for them, it's just all about maintaining momentum.
Yeah, and we mentioned being senior night for East Webster over in Clay County. West Point High School is hosting their last regular season home game against New Hope, and they're going to be celebrating the accomplishments of 30 seniors in that game. 3-time state champion. They've seen a lot of success over there, so it's going to be big night for them and take care of business. They're getting close to a district championship too. Although Chris Chambliss told me this week that they're treating it like got some more business to take care of. They're not thinking too far ahead of things. But Oak Hill was eliminated. They lost their last regular season game last week, and they didn't get the benefit of enough power points to make the playoffs. But Hebron Christian has, and in fact, they got some good news this week. They're going to be hosting the playoff game, so they'll be at home against Kemper Academy this week. So they're looking forward to getting them there. Kemper Academy had some problems with their field conditions, so that's the reason why they had to change the venue there. But
And that's a rematch too.
Yeah, and Hebron's looking to get a little something going after they lost 54-18 at Kemper during the regular season. So they were trying to make up a little ground there. But Coach Foster was confident that they could play with them, and actually it was a 22-18 game after 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And some things just kind of went against them there. But we'll touch on Mississippi State just a minute before we wrap things up. And they're going on the road for pretty much a must-win. I mean, you hate to call games must wins, but when you look at the next game is Alabama, and having to win 3 out of 4 to be bowl eligible, you got to take care of business over in Fayetteville.
Yeah, you got a 3-5 team against what I guess is what's Arkansas 2-6, I believe. It's kind of weird to call a game with 3-5 team and a 2-6 team must win, but for both sides, it's pretty much a must win. You got a coach on one side and Chad Morris at Arkansas that hadn't won a conference game since he's been there. And quite frankly, if Arkansas doesn't get this one, they're probably not going to get one this year. So you got Chad Morris possibly coaching for his job on one side, and on the other side you got Joe Moorhead, who I think Joe Moorhead's probably going to be your head coach at Mississippi State next year, just about no matter what. But if you wanted to draw up a scenario where he's not, it starts with losing this game at Arkansas. So I wouldn't say that he's necessarily coaching for his job, but he's definitely coaching to make sure that he's not coaching for his job later on this year, kind of thing. Right. So it is a humongous game. Like you said, the bowl streak, which State's been now, 2009, the last time State didn't go to a bowl game.
Right.
If you lose this game, you're like you said, you're probably not beating Alabama, so the most you're getting is 5 wins. I know State did have a 5-win season because of the APR that resulted in a bowl game. I guess we'll have to start looking into those kinds of things if necessary here in the next few weeks. But this is a game that State's just got to get, because Arkansas, quite frankly, they're not good. You look at them statistically, at or near the bottom in the SEC in pretty much every category. But then again, State has not played well on the road at all in Joe Moorhead's tenure. I think 1-6 on the road in SEC games since he's been here, and the only win was in Oxford last year against an Ole Miss team that wasn't playing really well at the time. So not to take that away, a win's win, but they just don't go on the road and play well. Yeah. And so it's tough to go anywhere, even if it's at an Arkansas that hadn't played. It's tough to just say, hey, State's going to go in and take care of business, because we hadn't seen it. We hadn't seen State start strong. They've gotten. I don't think they've even had a lead in the last since Kentucky, over a month since State's had a lead. Yeah. So it's just really tough to say that they're going to go play well. But by golly, they need to, right. For Joe Moorhead's sake, and for probably a lot of people watching's sake. State could sure use a strong showing in Fayetteville.
Well, like I say, any SEC win, especially on the road, is good to get, and they would really like to keep that bowl streak alive. That's about the only goal left on the table, other than keeping the Egg Bowl around for another year and be playing for pride at that point. But talking about the hot seat for the coaches, it may not be such a bad thing to be a little warm up in Fayetteville, because it's going to be a cold one. So you want to try to keep those temperatures
I hope
as possible.
I hope my seat's warm wherever it's
some
located.
Heat in the press box for you when you get back, because you've experienced some cold games in Fayetteville before, so
sure
you know how it is. But should be another interesting week of football for our area, high school and college, and we certainly hope that you enjoyed the football this weekend, as we will. And for Danny Smith and Joel Coleman, this is this week's edition of the Digital Express.